What do you think of the choice made for your country for the economic development?
Okay. I think India is now coming into a lot of globalization. It has business which is expanding into every field. The science and technology of the country is really becoming high. I think India is really investing now into sciences, into developments. As I'm a nuclear engineer, so I can tell about something nuclear energy. We have a lot of projects which are coming up, and I think energy is very important for the development of country. For any country, if you have good energy, you can develop. And I think India is really coming up with very good projects in case of energy. That what I am concerned with. But rest with other things also, India is one of the most highly developing economically country these days.
Yeah, for pointing out on our nuclear, I would say the pace by which India is developing into nuclear, I would call it as dramatic. I have not seen any other country to build so many nuclear power plants or have proposed to in just few years of time. To match up that pace is really great. And one thing I would like to point out is to match up with the economic development of the West is India should invest in, let us say, in small scale industries a lot. What exactly China has done. What you see these days, everything is made in China. What we are wearing is everything made in China. If India could do that to utilize the manpower, it will be really very great.
The problem that India face is that the richest of the world are from India and the poorest of the world are from India. The difference between the poor and the rich is very high. I mean, in Europe, there is a middle class, which is really common, and few rich and few poor. But in India, if you see, you have really some terrifying difference. You know, people who are rich, they are rich up to the extent that they can afford anything in this world, and the poor, he even cannot afford the basic meal. So.
And to match up that, you need small-scale industries to bring really that edge up and to be, let us say, economically developed.
What projects India should take for the future economic development?
I think he already made a very good point of small-scale industries, that he should really invest, because I think India has a lot of hidden treasures within itself. First, the biggest point that India has is the labor. India has a very huge number of people. So the labor is very good in India. You know, there are people where there are so many industries in which you need labor. So India has to think in that manner, that where they can have good amount of labor, and so the input is less, but the output is very good in that case, because labor is very cheap in India.
It would be like a mega project of small-scale industries. And the second thing would be to invest a little bit more in research and development. Recently, we saw that the salaries of researchers and teachers were increased dramatically. At this moment in India, people do, like in France, I saw this trend. Everybody wants to be an engineer. If you are an engineer, you will get a job, and very nice. But in India, it used to exist also, but it's changing because the salaries of the professors and researchers has changed completely. So now there is a trend to become a teacher or a professor because you have a better life.
Because it has increased
and
for last.
If you can do that a little bit more, if you can use that scientific aspect, you will really develop. The country will develop. Yes, you mean some kind of reservation for poor people? Yes. This exists in some industries, and mostly these industries would be the government-funded industries and not the private ones. But they are existing, but I would say they are increasing in number, but not a lot. It's exactly what I said. These are the small-scale industries. These needs to become up. It's exactly the Chinese things. They started with small-scale industries, and now they make everything.
Okay. And you see a difference of Nord and Sud?
Yes, I told you geographically it matters a lot because India is totally varied. So I would say the center where the land is plain, that would be more developed. If you go on the north where there are Himalayas, it's very difficult to develop an industry, so there is nothing. If you go on the east, there are forests, it's very difficult to develop. On the west, there is a desert. So it really matters geographically.
What in French did you like and did you want to
have in our country?
To have in India, maybe?
Research. The first thing should be investment in research.
Okay.
It's as compared to the whole world, it's not a lot in France, but as compared to India, it's a lot. If India can match up in the development of scientific research, it will really help.
Yes, I think.
Because France is a very small country. And if you see the number of reputed institutes serving for science, it's a lot. India is a very big country as compared to science, but if you see the total number of reputed institutes in the world that should exist, they are not exactly the same numbers. So that is very important.
And also one system I really like in France is France is a social country, the system of social, that the funds are equally divided into all the people. But the taxes are in a manner that everyone, there is no poor and there is no such rich in France. Everyone has a good level. But in India, this doesn't exist. I really want to take the system into India and to really balance the economic gap.
Yeah, because India is tending towards more capitalism. They are more motivated by the US way of working, so it's money and work all the time, day and night. It's an example from my side. I was in a research institute, it's called TIFR in Mumbai. The professor there works from, let us say, morning 8 o'clock, just because he loves his job. And even in the night, he doesn't have any time to go back home, 8, 9, 10, 12. So that's something, it could be controlled, it would be very nice. They are liking their job, but it's not helping them in their family. And if it doesn't help in their family, they will have social problems.
Yes, and also I think the tax system and everything should be well applied in India. Like the
because
taxes,
the rich becomes rich and the poor becomes
becoming
poor.
poor. So this is the system which is happening.